What's up? Please don't use much. What's up, y'all? So, I am back with another story time. As you can tell from the title, this one is going to be about the time that I got ambushed. I will give a food for thought, a heads up. If you think when I say ambush, I mean jumped, beat up, robbed, I am not referring to that, so you can go ahead and get off this video now. Okay, so when I say ambush, matter of fact, let me just tell the story and we'll get to that. Okay, boom. So I am gonna go ahead and put on my little personal nails while we do this talk or we do the story time. So that's what I'm gonna be doing if you see me looking down and whatnot. I do have notes because y'all, when things are so dramatic, I forget them. So I forget a lot of the details. I almost forgot about this whole situation. Like literally, I don't know what made me think about it, but I literally thought about it and then decided to go ahead and post it on my Instagram for people to do a poll to decide if they wanted to hear a story time. So again, this is why I need to be following me on Instagram, because again, I asked what the people want, what type of story times. I literally have a list of things that I've been through in my life. And literally when I feel like doing a story time, I just post on my poll which ones, like the options, and y'all pick one. So this is what the people chose. It was between this one and the time my soror got jumped. So I will probably talk about that one maybe next story time. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it. I think I'm nervous. Oh, okay. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. This is a bit sensitive because it was kind of traumatic. So, but I'll just get into it. Let's just get into it. Okay, so back in 2016, I was in high school. No, it just so happened to be the high school that I went to was very unique. As many of you know, I went to a private school. I've been in private school my whole life. Not the same private school my whole life. But I'm going to do my best to try to be as discreet as possible. But if it's people who went to high school with me that's watching this video, you probably already know what I'm talking about. So I can't do nothing about it. But yeah, back in 2016, I had went to a private school, in my high school years because I graduated in 2017. So the school that I went to was quite unique because they had a youth ministry or a ministry group. So the ministry group would do things like outreach, like go feed the homeless, visit domestic violence shelters, just different things. We would even go to different churches to do like plays and things of that nature. Like we were really good with the arts when it came to that. A couple times I danced at the school, you know what I mean? So we were very like involved when it came to outreach ministry wise. And we would have like on Wednesdays, we would have like chapels and things of that nature. And it would be like, when I tell y'all, I've probably had my highest moments in God at those chapels. Literally, where God would just, I can only speak for myself at this point, and y'all will understand why. But I can only speak for myself. Those were probably one of the highest times I've had in God, like when He just knocked me clean out. You know what I mean? So I can't say like it started off on the right foot. When I came in, it was on the right foot. You know what I mean? And I was really able to see God work amongst like young people. You know what I mean? Like the younger generation. As long as we remain pure, I was able to see like, okay, like, oh, these young people are kind of like me. Like everybody, all young people aren't crazy. You know what I mean? Like it was just like good to see people my age, like on like-minded people. You get what I'm saying? It was good to see that for me. So, like I said, we would do ministry, outreach, things of that nature, and it was really good. Like we really started off, I feel like, on the right foot. But as time started to pass in the group, it was like people started to get into relationships with each other, which was fine because we're all young. Like you got to remember, even though we're teenagers, we're still like teenagers. So even though we're doing ministry, we're still teenagers. We still like boys like us. So that kind of made it a little bit spotty. So throughout, it started to be like a lot of what's the word I'm trying to say? So let's just say it was a lot of impurity in the mix. In the mix of what we had going on. But hold on, y'all, I gotta focus while I play this.
Hey, my apologies, my loves. For some reason, part of the video where I was explaining why I decided to fall back and whatnot, for some reason that part got clipped out. When I tell y'all the enemy really trying me, but I'm gonna make sure this video get out and y'all gonna get all the information. So basically what I was saying was things started to get a bit spotty once we started to date each other, which was normal because we were young people. But it got to the point where we were like, fornicating. If you don't know what fornicating is, baby girl, you're gonna have to look that up. But I had decided that I wanted to like fall back and withdraw myself from the group because my main thing was I wanted to be integral. I didn't want to be a hypocrite. And I wanted to be as authentic as I could. And I knew the only way to do that was by living the life that you claim you preach about. So I had decided that I was going to fall back because, and just not be a part of the group. Wasn't going to down talk the group or anything of that nature. They could have still moved and did what they wanted to do. But I didn't really want to have my hands in the mix of it. And when I tell y'all, I learned my value and how important I was and how much influence I carried in this situation. Because when I tell y'all all hell broke loose, stay tuned.
I literally don't know what just happened because when I tell y'all I just recorded the whole video, the sound is on there, but me like the video isn't, the picture isn't showing. So I'm about to retell y'all everything all over again. And that's okay because I feel like the enemy trying to not get this video, so I'm gonna make sure it get out. Alright, so let me take it from not the top, but from the top of the what is that? Okay. So long story short, we're gonna call the leader, we're gonna call her Leader Jones. Leader Jones had texted me and was like, hey, can you come to the office? Let's just say it was the office. Because we did have like rooms where you would come, like private rooms, whatever. So she's like, can you come to the office? I'm like, cool. That was nothing like strange, peculiar, because we would do that. Like we would go. There wasn't anything weird, so I wasn't thrown aback from that. So when I walk in, it's at least 4 to 5 people that I already know off rip don't care for me. And when I say don't care for me, because I'm not going to say they didn't like me or we had beef, because we were literally, these were the same people who was praying and fasting together, praying for people about, like going out to eat together. Like we was low-key supposed to be a family. So I knew it wasn't like they didn't like me, but I knew like these were the people I was the closest with. And now because I'm not in the ministry group, whatever, it was a little shifty now. You know what I mean? So I walk in there. Now, mind you, one of the people that are in there is my ex-boyfriend. This is the same ex-boyfriend that in that story time where it says the time I found out my ex slept with 2 of my friends. Yes, this one. Miss Jones, Leader Jones, allowed him to facilitate the whole meeting or whatever. So I walk in, sit down. He basically, I'm not going to lie to y'all, verbatim says, nobody here likes you. I would just leave if I were you. Mind you, he's newer than me. Like, he a rookie. You know what I mean? Like, the only reason he has the credibility to sit there and tell me anything or sit amongst the people he's sitting with is because of me. Because you was a nobody when you came. You know what I mean? We're going to get past that. So, mind you, it was 4 to 5 of them in there, but he was the only one saying something. He was the only one that expressed that. Nobody else said it. Everybody was just sitting there quiet as a mouse. So, I'm not going to lie to y'all, when he said that, it took me aback at first. I'm like, okay. Now, mind you, it did seem like Leader Jones tried to reel it in a little bit once she seen this was kind of turning into bashing. But she still didn't do what she should have did as a teacher or as a superior or as somebody that was over us. So she was trifling for that too. Right. But I'm not going to lie to y'all. I literally told them, I said, I feel like I should apologize. But I'm not, because I don't even know what I'm apologizing for. I lied to y'all not. I told them that verbatim. And I don't think that's what they wanted to hear. I really thought they thought I was gonna be like emotionally thrown aback. Just so, oh my God. First of all, who are y'all? Y'all are nobody to be needing credibility from or needing to be liked from. Second of all, I'm like, what can I do about you not liking me? You know what I mean? What can a person really do about that? So the room just grew silent, and I was just like, yeah, I would apologize, but I really don't know what I'm apologizing for. So can I just go? And I just left. Because you're not going to hold me hostage. Anybody else saying that? Everybody just sitting here looking stupid. And y'all, I'm not going to sit here and listen to y'all try to tell me you don't like me. Girl, what the hell? And then I'm like, the person is coming from, y'all letting the ex be the spokesperson? That's crazy. So I end up leaving, going back to the classroom. And I didn't respond right then in the moment because I'm not an emotional like response like in the moment to the person. Like I just don't think like that. I use my brain. So I just was like, let me call my cousin, get my cousin to come pick me up. I asked my mom, and my mom was very much in tune to everything that was going on. So I'm like, Mom, let me go home. These people got me. They got me twisted. And my mom was at work at the time, so my mom not about to come get off work to come get me. So I got my cousin to come get me. Shout out to my cousin Quisha. She came pick me up. At the time, my cousin was pushing her people's minivan, right? So, the minivans, they got them sliding doors. So when I hadn't told my cousin anything that had happened, she had just pulled up and was like, hey, like I had just texted her and was like, girl, can you please come get me? I got permission for you to come get me, come get me. So I think I signed myself out and I was out. I get to the car, my cousin like, what happened? I break down. And not the breakdown when I'm like boohoo crying. When I tell you, when I closed that door, I thought I almost broke her people's minivan door. I lied to you, and I almost ripped that door off the hinges. You understand what I'm saying? I literally was so upset. And it hit me. I was like, girl, it was just so much emotion, built up emotion, because what in the world really just happened? Like, what just happened? You know what I mean? And then, so the principal's wife, shout out to the principal's wife, she ended up seeing me get in the car and have that, I don't want to say an episode, but that's not in my nature. So when she seen me like that, she was like, what happened to Jocelyn? We're like, what? Well, Joe, that's what everybody call me. What happened to Joe? What happened to Joe? Like, what y'all do to Joe? Like, what y'all do to Joe? Because that's not, and why she leaving early? You know what I mean? It was a lot. So my mom ended up calling the principal and was like, what y'all down there doing to my daughter? You understand what I'm saying? Like, what ambush? My mom was really the one that came up with the word ambush. She's like, what are y'all down there doing? He's like, no, that's not what it is. We just have like group talks where that is a lie from the pit of hell. Any group talk we've had like that has never been to that degree. We have never had no group talk and sat there and told somebody, we don't like you, we think you should go. We never did that. But y'all tried that with me. Right. So I really started to realize, I'm like, I'm getting all this backlash because I stood up for something. I'm getting all this backlash because I don't want to be sleeping with people and then trying to lay hands on people. One of those things where it was like, all of us were sleeping with people, sleeping with assignments we should have been praying for. Right. And I don't really speak for myself. The boyfriend that I had at the time, he was going through a lot, girl. Going through a lot. A mess, to be honest. The last thing he needed was a girlfriend. He really needed a friend that could pray for him. You understand what I'm saying? So I could take ownership in that. You feel what I'm saying? I took ownership in that and said, let's take a step back. Let's take a step back so we're not, being a mess, being hypocritical. And all because of that, I had received so much backlash to the point I had gotten called in a room and a group of people was trying to tell me that they didn't like me as if I was supposed to do something about it. But yeah, and the thing is, y'all, the way I came up, you don't have to be perfect. I'm not saying you got to be perfect to do whatever. You don't have to be perfect, but at least be real. Like, if you're struggling, say that and go sit down. Don't be trying to lay hands on people. Acts 19:15. Peter and Jesus, I know, who are you? I literally told Leader Jones, I said, listen, you know that scripture where, and that then I wasn't that into the word and all. I said, you know that scripture where the demons jumped on the people that was trying to pray for them because they ain't really had no power? I'm not doing that, ho. That's what I was trying to tell her. She gonna tell me, well, I understand, but if all of us if we just stopped ministering because we messed up, nobody would get ministered to. And you're all right, the gifts of God come without repentance. But how long do you want to keep playing that game? Because eventually that grace is going to lift. And when them covers come off, then what? Now you look a mess and you're a reproach. No. So that was just how I came up. That is what I learned, and that's what I walked in. And I realized everybody don't walk like that. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody don't move like that. We're just to each his own. But I want to make it in the gates scot-free as I can. You understand what I'm saying? As authentic as I can. Won't perfect, but she kept it $1.50. You see me? And literally, I remember my best friend at the time. Shout out to him. I don't know if he's watching this, but I remember my best friend at the time. My guy best friend had told me right around the time, before the ambush, but after I decided I'm stepping away. I don't want to be part of the do y'all thing. I don't want to be in the ministry. I don't want to do no outreach. I don't want to lay hands. I don't want to be part of no theater. None of that. Keep me out the arts. Don't ask me to dance. Leave it alone. Yeah. Literally, after I had did that, my best friend came to me and said, I hope you know a target on your back now. I'm just putting you on. Because anytime you go against the grain, it's like a target is on your back. And when I tell you that man was not lying, that man was not lying. Like, looking back on it, I'm like, oh, that was giving very much cult. Y'all comment and let me know. But to me, that was giving very much cult. No. Right. And the crazy thing is, when I was a part of the group, it never gave that. It never gave that. But I don't know. Now I look back, I'm like, did it give that? And I was just so engulfed in what I was engulfed in that my discernment didn't really pick up on it, or was it that I don't know? But I do know, y'all, I never was a part of nothing where we sat and told somebody we don't like you, go home. I know I was never a part, because I would have been like, hold it. I know Shorty girl a little crazy, but we ain't gotta be, you know what I mean? I'm never for that bullying group mentality, let's gang up on somebody. I ain't never gave that. My thing is, say what you gotta say to say. If you got a problem with somebody, say it one-on-one. Don't get in no group and then try to get your one off. You weird and you weak. So literally, y'all, how that came out was, I do believe that teacher did get spoken to, because the principal ended up talking to her, Leader Jones. Don't know what came up. I really don't care. But I will say this. There's one of the guys that was in the room with that ambush when they was trying to whoop. One of the guys, and he was a white boy. We're going to call him Jerry. We'll call him Jerry. Jerry was in that room. He didn't, I don't believe he had said anything when my ex had said what he said in that meeting. But he did end up coming to me, I think, a couple days later. And my mom, matter of fact, let me not fast forward. I remember there was an event at the school my mom had came to. She had seen Jerry, and she was like, girl, he looks terrible. Like, she had said, like, he looks really, like, he feels bad. Like, he looks like he feels bad. Like, I don't know what, but she was like, he looks like he feels guilty. You know what I mean? You know how some people can just, and I guess when she looked at him, because everybody knew who my mama was. You understand what I'm saying? So, I guess when she was looking at him, or he was looking at her, he was just looking like, dang. You know what I mean? So I will say this. Jerry did come to me, I think, a couple days after that ambush. And he did come to me and was like, I'm sorry. Like, it wasn't supposed to go like that. That was messed up. Like, you know what I mean? So I will shout out to you, Jerry, for having the balls, to be honest, to come and apologize. Because I don't think anybody else from that day ever apologized to me for that. And that was something I really didn't deserve, especially with me being one of the key leaders in the group. And then to have it turn on me like that was just crazy. So I will commend him for having the balls to come up to me and apologize for how it went down. But you still ain't had no business being in that room, Jerry. So literally, like I said, after that, I really don't know. I was just over it at that point. Like when senior year had hit, I was like, I had gotten my job at Sweet Frog. I had gotten permission to be able to leave early to go to work. I was just so focused on just do your schoolwork, go home. Do your schoolwork, go to work, bump these people. The makeup brush is saying amen. Get your diploma, go home. I had decided that. My mama had decided that. We was in agreement with that. So my teacher, Leader Jones, I had already told, I said, look, I'm leaving this. I was not a part of no ministry, no outreach. I didn't want to do nothing with these people, especially after that. I couldn't even, you know what I mean? I couldn't. So when I was working at DTLR, I did work at DTLR, but when I was working at Sweet Frog, I was leaving early, and I even remember one time the same youth group, we're going to call the youth group Fire Flame. Fire Flame had came in to my job at Sweet Frog. Did they do it on purpose? I think so. Y'all had never did no Sweet Frog trips before until I decided to work there, and they had the whole Fire Flame group want to come up there. So shout out to my manager, my supervisor, Laura. As soon as I seen them come through the door, I went back there and said, listen, Laura, you either get on that register, I'm not going to be on that register. And mind you, my Sweet Frog crew had knew everything that had happened, because they had they had became like, they had kind of helped me heal through that situation. They almost couldn't believe. They're like, y'all doing all that at the private school? But they were really like there for me with that situation. So Laura had already knew what was going on, things of that nature. So she was like, oh girl, you don't worry about that. I'll handle them. And she was like, and you don't even, matter of fact, don't even stay back here. You come up there with me and just sit. Don't work. You just sit and watch them. Just watch. Look at them looking at you. And you know, that's definitely what I did. That's definitely what I did. And the same couple of people that was in that room when we was there one-on-one, quiet as a mouse. She got her nuts and she kept on scrolling through that line. So I say that to say, people will do things in a group that they will not do one-on-one. It's back to a mob mentality. Look it up. I think it's psychologically proven. That's how you got gangs and mobs, because people have balls in a group, but by themselves, they wouldn't do it. You understand what I'm saying? So by that time, graduation that came up, and y'all, I had a little boo at the time. Not the boo that was the ex one, but I had another boo that was still going to school. He was a hooper. Real sweet. Yeah. He was my boo at the time, and he was hooping. So I was still coming to the games because my mama still paid tuition to go here, and I'm not a suspended, expelled. Because mind y'all, ooh, I fast forward, I went too fast. Mind y'all, I got to the point where I was going to the school, leaving early for work, this and the third, but they were still doing weird stuff. Like they were still trying me real bad, y'all, real bad. To the point my mama had to pull me out and make me go virtual. Because mind you, the school wasn't all that. I mean, it was, but the school was you did your classwork online. So really, the teachers was just there to supervise adult children, like teenage kids, because you can still do it online. So once it got to a final straw where they was just trying me too much, and my mom was like, "This is too much. We gotta pull you, but you still getting that degree." I end up just going virtual. So even though I was virtual, like I said, my boyfriend John, he was still hooping. So I'm still going to the games, loud and proud, looking real cute on it. You know what I mean? Giving very much basketball girlfriend, basketball wife. You understand what I'm saying? And unlike them other girls, my man claimed me. Yikes! So after the games, he would act like he knew me. You understand? We took pictures and all the things. So, and I could tell that ate them up, ate them alive, ate them alive. So it's long story short, y'all. I had literally, after that ambush, it was literally the craziest thing, all because I decided I did not want to be a hypocrite again. I ended up going virtual. I had my little boo. I would come for the games. That went great. I was working, still working at Sweet Frog. So life was good, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. It still is. And in the end, y'all, I literally, that senior year, I came back. I was valedictorian. I gave the valedictorian speech at my graduation in front of the very people that said, nobody here, and blah, 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 blah. In front of those very people. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, like, looking back, y'all, in the end, I came out ahead because when I look at all those other people's lives now, I don't really know now because I don't even check in. But when I, like, maybe closer to when we graduated, when I tell y'all their lives are mid, in my opinion, compared to mine, I feel like. Literally, it's like baby mama, baby daddy drama. Like I guess people went to college. I don't even think people went to college for real. Like the same people who was doing, literally the 4 to 5 people that was in that group that told me nobody had lecture. Baby mama drama. I don't think nobody went to college. When they went to college, they came right on back home with no piece of paper. It was just crazy. Like people got sick, people died. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. But it was, yeah. Now I will say the one boy that came to and apologized to me that next day, remember that Jerry? Yeah, that's what we called him. When Jerry came back and apologized to me, I'm not gonna lie, his life out of everybody's to this day, his life is probably the most successful. I believe, I don't know if he went to college or not, but I know he married him a girl, a black girl, real pretty, real beautiful. I believe they have a child together. So the one that apologized and like was like took was from like that was trifling, Joe. You didn't deserve that. His life came out pretty good, but everybody else's, I'm not gonna lie to you, mid. And I said that. I had to make sure I was getting this video, so I ain't have a problem like last time. But we good to go. We good to go. And I will say, y'all, literally, I believe the youth group. I will say this: the youth group, the ministry group we was a part of, ended up changing the name. I think it was because they became such a reproach. They had to. Right. That's the thing, y'all. You can move and flow and whatever. No, you trifling. No, you hypocrite. No, you doing whatever you want to do behind closed doors, and you not integral. You could do that, and there is a grace for that. I heard somebody say God is the only boss that will fire you and let you still show up to work. So there is a grace. But how much you want to play with that when that grace is lifted, baby girl, and them covers come off? Now you wishing you had just kept it $1.50 and sat back and just said, you know what, God, we do need to take a step back. But when I tell you that scripture that says, touch not my anointing and do my prophet no harm, Psalms 105:15, I think that's it. That's accurate. Very much accurate because God is very much faithful. I lie to you not. Literally, when I look back on it, I'm like, I came out really good in that. I'm not going to lie. Like, seriously, to go from having a group of people that you were once, like, literally, y'all, the portrayal was crazy. But it was like the people that I was praying with, we were fasting together, praying together, been to each other's houses, have cried together, have, like, went to dinner together, ministered together, fed the homeless together, broke bread together. To have those very people turn on me, all because I'm trying to be integral, that's why I kind of shy away from the group mentality thing. I do. I prefer to be a lone wolf because things can start off in the purest of ways. And I do feel like that's how this happened, y'all. Like, It started off with the purest of intentions. And then once it was starting to reach a certain level of height, because to whom much is given, much is required. So if we ministering and people are really getting like ministered to, we're gonna have to come up. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, if we're laying hands on people, yeah, I kind of do expect us to kind of be integral. We're laying hands on people. I don't think we should be sleeping with each other's boyfriends, you know? So when I tell y'all in the end to go through all of that and then come out valedictorian, and basically my life like has been what it has become now, all I can say is God is faithful. That's all I can say. And God don't play about me. God don't play about me. He don't. Because it's like our life is like a trophy case to the world. People are always watching like our lives and speaking on it, whether it's good or bad. It's almost like you're influencing before influencing was a thing. Because people are watching. People are watching to see how you respond. Even me, like, I know when I drop these videos and this and that, like, people are really like watching to see how I'm handling situations, like to see where I'm at. My thing is, I'm real enough to tell y'all the truth. Like with that roommate situation, I'm real enough to tell y'all, yes, I would love to rip every lash off her face. Yes. I would love to pull every piece of hair from her head. Yes. I would love to. Yikes. That head real good. Yes. But I'm real enough to tell y'all, the only thing that's keeping me from getting in my car and doing so is because I know God don't play by me, and God's hands are much more, that they gonna sting you. They gonna sting much harder than mine can. Now mine will give it up how they should. I hold you not. These hands will give you what you want, but God will give you what you need. Okay? Like it's literally, when I tell you, it's literally nothing but God that keeps me from going to jail. You know what I mean? And my thing is, because I've seen how God has handled it in the past, I know He can handle it much better than I can. You understand what I'm saying? And I come out scot-free. People still get consequences, and my hands, I didn't do it. Don't say that. You know what I mean? I can see that. I've seen it in my life. I've seen it come into fruition, so I know it to be true. Because my thing is, God already know how I get down. Just as real as I am with y'all, I keep it just as real with Jesus. God already know my daughter is a little off. She is. She's a little off. She do like to fight. A little bit of that Peter is in her. But Peter also is who Jesus built his church on. You understand what I'm saying? So, God already knows his daughter. God already know how I'm giving it up. Oh, let me say this. God already know how I could give it up. That's why he handles it himself. I'm serious. To spare me and the other person, let me just give her the grace to not beat you up. Or give her the grace to not get involved in that. Because she would. Real bad. So yeah, y'all. Like I said, I have recorded this and then I re-recorded it, but don't worry, I went ahead and re-recorded because the first clip I got, it like recorded the voice, but it didn't record. It stopped in my face, like it froze. I don't know what that was about, but I made sure I redid this video for y'all. So, or redid this part of the video for it because I was gonna make sure y'all knew about it. So, yeah, y'all, that is the story time about the time that I got ambushed, and unfortunately, it was. You would think you would get ambushed by enemies. But when you're ambushed by people that you was once friends with, that's another type of story. But like I said, in the end, I came out on top, y'all. I came out valedictorian. I ended up going to college, no kids. I dodged a bullet when it came to that kid thing with that ex-boyfriend. And God really just looked out. Like God, He really just looked out. That's all I can say. But I will say, I feel like definitely, I think my mother agreed to this too. By the time I had went to college, I had probably experienced enough betrayal, more betrayal than the average 20-year-old woman, and I wasn't even 18 yet. Or more than that, I was probably 25-year-old, maybe 30 might be pushing it. Now college, that was another level of betrayal. At that point, I probably received more betrayal than the average 30-year-old woman by that point. But I'm not gonna lie, guys, it's almost like that situation with the whole group, it like prepared me for what was going to happen when I went to my undergrad school. And remember I told you about that story of I had an abusive ex, ended up taking him to court. Did I tell you about that? Did I tell you about that? If I tell you, if I told y'all about that comment, if I didn't comment, because I don't remember. And if not, I got to do a story time about that. Oh my God. No, I think I did tell you how I became president. But yeah, if y'all want me to go deep into that story, we can, beloved, because that's a story too. But yeah, like it's almost like that prepared me because when I went to my undergrad and that whole situation happened. So, you know, when it comes to groups and women and I kind of do shy away from it. I'm trying to get better with that, but not really. I just need to be more discerning, and that's another topic for another day. We're gonna get it today because I'm gonna have to talk to my therapist about that too. But yeah, I just shy away from group mentalities. Like I'm okay with being a lone wolf, just me and God. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, y'all, that's my story time. Please be sure to slide to our Instagram. Again, like I said, the only reason I got this story time was because people on Instagram voted for it. So if you want more story times, be sure to follow me on Instagram and vote on my posts when I do post them. When I tell you, I literally have a list of different things that have happened in my life that'll be a story time, and I literally just pick 2 or 3 to let y'all vote on. That's what happens. This one was really tied with the time my soror got jumped, so I think I'll probably mention that in the next. I'll probably make that my next story time because that has been like a popular one, but this one trumped that one, so I went ahead and gave it up and gave it to y'all. So today's Friday. Hopefully, I'm going to try to upload this tomorrow. So Saturday, you all should be seeing it. Should be uploaded. And yeah, like I said, be sure to follow me on Instagram to get all the tea, to stay up to date in regards to what's going to be coming out and what's going to be dropping, what type of content's going to be dropping, and also for you to be able to give some insight in regards to what story times y'all want to see. So be sure to follow me on Instagram right here. Yeah, and do that. I will be posting my weekly vlog, so we'll be back on our normal scheduled program. This week I've kind of just been taking like a little breather, focusing on other things for sure. I'm focusing on other stuff. So we'll be back to our regular the day in the life of Joe. So stay tuned for that. Like I said, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. And I don't know if y'all can tell, but I redid my hair. I didn't put no heat on her today, so that might be why she not, giving too crisp. Yeah, y'all. So stay tuned for what I got going on, because we do have a lot going on. I'm not gonna say y'all too much because it's a story time, and I'm gonna say that for the vlog. But let's just say things are moving much faster. That's all I'm gonna say on that. I love y'all, and I hope y'all enjoyed this story time. So, oh, and look at my nails. Aren't they cute? Can you show us? Oh. I think they're cute, right? I like the shade. Anyway, love y'all. Love, peace, and all the things.
I said, okay, my infatuation, it turned me into another form of what you call it.